to India Fact Quizzes Game of Facts. Every Saturday we gather here and play this amazing quiz, which we try to make as interesting as possible for you. Today, I will host the English quiz because Rashmi won't do it today. She's not available, but I will do the English quiz, and the Hindi quiz we'll not have today. So I'll just like to tell you a little sorry about that. Probably next week or maybe next week we'll come back with the Hindi quiz. But for today, we just have one quiz for you. But we sure feel that you are going to be all pumped up. One quiz, just 3 chances to get that book. And I hope that you win today's quiz because we have a really interesting book for you. It's called 3000 Stitches, Ordinary People, Extraordinary Lives by Sudha Murty. And I'll tell you a bit more about the book in a few minutes from now. But before that, just a little bit about why we play this quiz, why we do what we do on every Saturday, 5 p.m. We come here, we have these quizzes just curated for you. We host Game of Facts because we think that facts and data have that power to educate a person in a way that cannot be possible in any other way. And somehow we feel that misinformation and maybe these WhatsApp forwards or just word of mouth could do really wrong to many people. So somewhere data that comes into play that tells you what exactly is the truth so that you can decide what the truth is, because you just have the facts, you just have the numbers, and you have to make your own opinions basis that. So here we are with that thought to, test your biases and just play along. Just one hint, if you feel that this could be the answer, you could go against that and maybe get it right, get it correct. We hope you get it correct and you're quick enough to answer the questions, because the person who answers it the fastest gets more points for that particular question. So I'll just begin sharing my screen in some time. The game pin is being provided to you in the chat box. It's 994064. You can enter it, enter your email ID, enter a nickname that works for you, and we'll begin very shortly. The rules, are very simple. It's just 10 questions, which will go really quick. Today, we don't have a puzzle question, so I think that's a plus point for most of you. So we have our true and false and MCQs. 3 poll questions before that. So we'll just see what we want to, you'll just see what we want you to answer today, a little about your childhood. And we'll just begin with our questions right after that. Today's quiz a little more towards the health side. We'll get to know where does the world stand in terms of different health conditions. What are the numbers? What is the statistics? And with that, we will begin with our quiz. But before that, I have to tell you about the book. So this book, 3000 Stitches, which is written by Sudha Murty, who is the chairperson of Infosys. She's written this book, and through this book, she's mentioned about her journey, her exceptional work at Infosys, her family life, her youth, her travel. Through all of that, she's encountered so many interesting stories which are compiled in this particular book, and she tells them in a very warm-hearted way. So that makes it exemplary. And she talks about her work in the Devdasi community. Also talks about how being the only female in an engineering college could be, her trials and tribulations through that particular phase of her life, her everyday struggles, and the common struggles that a human being faces, the victories a human being faces, large or small. All of that is just compiled in this book, in this beautiful, lovely book, which 3 of you will win today. And if you like the book, do tell us, write to us at connect@indiafactquiz.com, and we'll be really happy to read your reviews about the book. So I think that's all, and we can begin with our quiz today. So here we are. Okay, welcome to all of you. Hi, Adit, Abhishek, Anuj, Zamir, Pushpa, Pratham, Anuj. Okay, we have two Anuj, Gaurav, Adarsh, Ayush, Saurav, Parisha, Shri, Madan, Shetty, Padmaja, Swati. While a few more of you are joining, we'll begin with our poll questions, three simple poll questions. And in the meantime, if any of your friends or family wants to join in, they can put in the game pin, use this game pin, and enter as quickly as possible because you just have one quiz today. So it's not like you can miss this quiz and you have the Hindi quiz after this. That's not an option. Okay, we see people joining in. Welcome, Sharwani, Kartikeya. I think I'm seeing you, Sharwani, after a very long time, but nonetheless, great to see you. Okay, thank you so much for joining us today. Let us begin with our first poll question for today's game of facts. The game pin will be provided to you in the chat box after I move to the next screen. So here, let's begin with our first poll question. This is week 25 for the English game of facts. And here's your first poll question. So you can multi-select. This is a multi-select. What did you enjoy the most during your childhood? Was it Beyblade or Hot Wheels, or did you like to play cards, maybe Uno, Monopoly cards, or any other type of cards? Some board games, Ludo, Snakes and Ladders, chess, business, or you like to play with Barbie, kitchen sets, doctor sets, and there were very many other sets. Okay, so 27 of you went with the board games. I think Ludo and Snakes and Ladders is something which has always been on top of every child's list. Then we have 14 of you chose kitchen and doctor sets and Barbies. I think I used to have this one doctor set and a kitchen set also. I still remember, and it was all really wow, fond memories. Then 10 of you said that you like to play with cards, you like to play, or maybe you still like to play. 11 of you loved Hot Wheels and Beyblade. That's amazing. Thank you so much. We'll move on to our next poll question. Again, a multi-select, so you can select more than one. As a kid, you enjoyed outdoor sports, indoor sports, or did you enjoy TV, music, video games, or were you a person who liked to study, read a lot? Is the one who likes to read everything and just be aware about everything that's going on. Okay, so 24 of you outdoor sports and 22 of you. Wow, of course, we have this bunch of people who like to read and who come week on week to play Game of Facts so that they can win books. So that was quite predictable also. 19 of you went with music, TV, and video games. 17 said you like to play indoor games. Okay, thank you so much. Moving on to our last word cloud. One word to describe your childhood. It could be an emotion, a game, a food item, or a cartoon, anything. It could be anything, not just these 3-4 things. Any one word that can describe your childhood the best. Okay, lovely. Wow. Stress-free, fun, happy, Chota Bheem, old house, memories, ice cream, careless. I think careless and stress-free and relaxed are what happens to us now. Shaktiman, chocolate, fighting, potato, play, no responsibility, Ben 10, caroms. What else do we have? Outdoor games, Oswald. That was my favorite cartoon too. Doraemon, cousins, reading, roller coaster. Very thankful for your response. I think this is a very happy bunch of words. I mean, which anybody, if you read, you'll just be taken back to your childhood. So thank you so much for this. And now we will begin with our quiz. Since our poll questions are over, if still somebody's just sitting around, hop in, because you know that a lot can happen by the end of the last question. And since I told you we don't have the puzzle questions, you can actually win the quiz. the ones who feel that, we don't have a chance, you can win it today. So here's our first question for today, and this is a true or false. Globally, more than 1 billion people need one or more accessibility aid, which is also called assistive products. This could be wheelchairs, hearing aids, or eating aids. Um, these are basically some products which are required. Okay, so 34 of you went with true, and this is correct. So assistive products, or the accessibility aids, are systems and services which a person uses to maintain or improve their daily functioning and independence, so that they are not dependent on other people. This could include wheelchairs, like I told you, people who have disability, people who have inconvenience in hearing can use hearing aids. Spectacles are is one example of an assistive product. Then there are memory aids. People who have different mental health issues or maybe memory issues are they use memory aids. So globally, more than 1 billion people need one or more accessibility aids. With this, our scoreboard for today, we have Abhishek, Tushar, Adarsh, Pushpa, and Adit who've opened our scoreboard. And let's see by the end of our quiz what this looks like. Moving on to our next question for today. True or false? Today, only 1 in 10 people in need have access to assistive products. Is this true or false? Today, only 1 in 10 people in need have access to assistive products. Okay, 27 of you, you're correct. People who need assistive technology, they can include people with disabilities, like I told you. There could be older people, because as and when you grow old, there's a need of certain assistive products, maybe because of hearing loss or issues with mobility. People who have diabetes and other non-communicable diseases need assistive products. Again, mental health conditions like wherein there is a memory loss or certain other mental health problems, they require assistive products. And if you look at the data, 1 in 10 people. So if there are 10 people in need, just 1 person has access to those products. With this, scoreboard is changed, and we have Tushar, Kumar, Sharon, Kartikeya, and Paras. I think 4 people have just come up on the scoreboard right now. And Tanushri is the highest climber. Let's go on to our next question. Female genital mutilation is a legal process for female sterilization. Is this true or false? Abhishek, you've asked for the source, and I see that it's been shared also, but I'll just like to tell everybody, there are a few questions. As and when those questions get over, we'll keep sharing the sources in the chat box. So you can read more about whatever the data is in the particular source link. So 27 of you, you're correct. It is false. And the ones who went with true, I just like to tell you that female genital mutilation is something which is not at all legal. That's because it is partial or total removal of external female genitalia. And this is for non-medical reasons. So this is not actually a legal process for female sterilization. In fact, WHO has made it illegal to go through the process, and the process even has no health benefits for females. So with this, we move on to our scoreboard once again. Oops, Tushar just slipped from the scoreboard. Now we have Kumar, Sharon, Paras, Abhishek, and Tanushree, who was the highest climber in the last question, has now made it to the scoreboard. So let's go on to our next question. Double points for this one. Global number of skin cancer cases. You have to tell the global number of skin cancer cases. Your options are 1.5 million, 3.5 million, 0.5 million, or 2.5 million. Just 3 of you got this one correct. Okay. 19 of you went with the majority, with the largest number, that's 3.5 million. The correct answer is 1.5 million. And globally, this is with respect to 2020 data, which is the latest data available. Over 1.5 million cases of skin cancers were diagnosed, and over 120,000 skin cancer associated deaths were reported. So this is as per the WHO data. And with this, we move on to our scoreboard once again. We now have a complete different scoreboard. We have Sneha, Shetty, Kumar, Sharon, and Paras. Moving on to our next question. Worldwide percentage of deaths every year that result from harmful use of alcohols. Now we're talking about alcohol. Is it 5.3%, 1.3%, 3.3%, or 9.3%? This is all with regards to the global data. So we're talking about percentage of deaths that result from harmful use of alcohol every year. 23 of you, the correct answer is 5.3. The harmful use of alcohol is a causal factor in more than 200 diseases and injury conditions. In fact, worldwide, 3 million deaths that occur every year, they result from harmful use of alcohol, which represents about 5.3% of the total number of deaths. So this is around 3 million in number and 5.3 as a percentage. With this, we have our, okay, Tanushri's made it back to the scoreboard, and Shri Ranjani is again on the scoreboard. Let's move on to our next question. Double points for this one again. Number of newborns who die worldwide within 20 days of birth every year due to birth defects. Now we're talking about birth defects, and we're asking you the number of newborns who die worldwide on a global basis within 28 days of birth every year. Is it 1.4 lakh, 5.4 lakh, 0.4 lakh, 2.4 lakh? Oh, wow. 22 of you got this one correct, majority. I sometimes wonder, how do you know the exact particular number? I mean, majority of you know the correct number, but great, that's great. So an estimated 240,000 newborns, they die worldwide globally within 28 days of birth every year. And this is because of birth defects that they're born with. Birth defects cause a further 170,000 deaths of children between the ages of 1 month and 5 years. So this we're talking about just within 28 days. Now, after that also, within 1 month and 5 years, there are many deaths that occur because of the birth defects that these kids have. With this, our scoreboard once again. Okay, so we have Shetty, Tanushri, Sneha, Shri, Ranjani, and Adarsh. Yeah, I was just checking if I'm pronouncing your name correctly, Shri Ranjani, but I am. Yeah, it's a different name, nice name. So we have Adit as the highest climber with this question. Moving on to our next question for today. 9 of 10 children born with a serious birth defect are in low and middle income countries. Is this true or false? "27 if you're correct. This is true. 9 of 10 children who are born with a serious birth defect, they are in low and middle income countries. I think this was an easy one. So we'll go on to our next, we'll go on to the scoreboard first. Now we have Shetty, Sneha, Sri Ranjani, Adarsh, and Gaurav has just entered the scoreboard. Moving on to our next question. Double points for this one. Percentage of blood donations that are collected in high income countries globally. 20%, 60%, 80%, or 40%. We're talking about blood donations now, and we're asking you about the percentage of blood donations that are collected in high income countries worldwide. So the correct answer is 40%. Of the 118.5 million blood donations that are collected globally, around 40% are collected in high income countries, which is home to about 16% of the total population. Ooh, wow, this is a different scoreboard altogether. Now we have Adarsh, Gaurav, Ayush, Tanushree, and Nancy. Let's go on to our next question for today. I think this is going to be our second last question, if I'm not wrong. This is a true or false. In low-income countries, more than half of the blood transfusions are given to patients above 60 years of age. Is this true or false? Now we're talking about low-income countries, and there, more than half of the blood transfusions that are given to patients are above the age of 60 years of age. Is this true or false? 29 of you, the majority of you went with true. This is false. This is actually, I'll just tell you how exactly this is. In low income countries, up to about 54%, so that's more than half of the blood transfusions, they are given to children under the age of 5 years of age, uh, and not people above 60 years of age. Whereas in high income countries, so if you look at this, uh, in low income countries, it is to more than half of the blood transfusions are given to the patients, the kids below 5 years of age, while in high income countries, most frequently transfused patient group, it actually lies over the 60 years of age. So that is about 76% of the total transfusions. So this is actually the opposite for high income countries. And with this, we have Anuj on top of the scoreboard. Then we have Adarsh, Gaurav, Ayush, and Rohit. Let's go on to the last question for today. No puzzle, so you've got to be really very quick in answering this one so that you get to win the book. True or false, and double points for this one. So be real quick. Globally, 1 in 10 women has been sexually abused as a child aged 0 to 17 years. Is this true or false? We're talking about the global data where 1 in 10 women has been sexually abused as a child when she was around 0 to 17 years of age. 14 of you, this is false, and you're right, and you might be the ones on the podium. Um, if we talk about women, it's not 1 in 10, but it's 1 in 5. And if we talk about men who've been sexually abused as a child, it's about 1 in 13. So 1 in 5 women have been sexually abused as a child when they were 0 to 17 years of age. And 1 in 13 men have been sexually abused as a child. So I think with this, we come to an end of our quiz today. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's see who our winners are today. And we have only the English quiz, but on the third position today, we have Nancy. Second position, Tanushree. And the winner of our quiz is Tada, Adarsh. Okay, congratulations to all three of you. And our runners up are Tushar and Saurav. I think you played really well, just coming on and off the scoreboard. Fantastic game. You can claim your prize with the link that's provided to you in the chat box. I request you to claim your prizes within 24 hours and we'll try and dispatch it as soon as possible. Don't forget to come join us for another quiz next Saturday. And do tell us if you liked it. We hope that you enjoyed and have a lovely weekend. Thank you so much for joining us.